Welcome to another Kernel Knowledge session, a quick micro learning. As we think about the sales business, there's always an opportunity to drive to win. We're going to give you a quick introduction to add to your bucket of knowledge. So the next time you think you should beat yourself up for failure, you have that internal voice telling you, hey, it's okay. Let's get back on track and let's think about winning. I want you to think through today, what is your FSR? Failure Recovery System. How will you continue to drive? How will you continue to win after challenges, hurdles, or failure? We need to focus more on the process and sometimes less on the results when we think about staying positive. So personally, what drives you to win? Could be financial compensation, the good old Benjamin Franklin dollars, or is it about some glory, some fame? Or it could be, hey, I'm for the team, Katie. When I win, the team wins. I like to be that team cheerleader. Or is it about your character? Are you a person who could win or fail, could triumph or have a hurdle, and you really just continue to be consistent in your character? I want you to think through your favorite elementary teacher. Got that person in mind? Now, my favorite teacher from elementary school made learning fun. She challenged me, was supportive and helpful. But at the end of the day, she got to know me. So think about what drives you from a seed, chemical, fertilizer, crop protection standpoint, as we're in agriculture sales. Your character should drive you to win, and then it could fall into a team aspect, an award, and we all like a lot of compensation. So as we think about what's more important to you, is your importance factor more about the goal? Or is it more about the why behind the goal? When you accomplish your goals, you have a spike in excitement. The feeling is addictive. So that's what we start to chase. But when happiness is short term and the excitement or the happiness wears off, for most people, we're now tied to the outcome. So what's more important, A or B? If you think for a moment, if we were to ask you what was your favorite song, we'd have you shout it out, sing a few verses, or maybe play it on your iPhone or your smartphone. It sounds terrible, right? We might have a little We Are the Champions to some good old Faith Hill, or maybe some Spice Girls to change it up. But if we all use the same song, we all have the same language. Sounds better. So no different than us being on different outcomes, different whys. It's really important that we all start listening to the same station, have the same goal in mind, and that we're all on the same page with what is the final outcome and that why. So there's 3 areas that help us in this fashion, 3 areas toward winning as a team. The first one is you are resilient. Think about this from a lunchbox and a bouncy ball standpoint. You could put your memories in the lunchbox and use the bouncy balls to bounce back when things get tough. We all have to deal with challenges. We all have mistakes that we make and that we learn from. But I want you to be able to look in the rearview mirror and to be able to say, hey, here's how resilient I was. Here's how I'm doing. Number 2, competitive. Our performance actually increases when we challenge those close to us. I don't want you to look at your teammates as enemies. I want you to look in the mirror for that. You are only as strong as the rest of your team. So think about a time when you had a peer that became your coach, not your competition. We have plenty of competition in the marketplace. Think about your competition sometimes as yourself. How am I doing? How is my drive to win? And last is going to be unselfish. Everyone has to make sacrifices for the team. What's on the back of your jersey? Most times it's the person's last name and a number. Think about what's on the front of the jersey. Not a trick question, but it's the team name. So what's on the front of your shirt? Should be your company. Should be that team logo. Another way to think about this is think about a basketball team and a basketball team's bench. If I were to take a picture of your team bench, are you cheering your teammates on? Are you engaged in the game? Or do you have your arms crossed? Are you kicked back and eating some popcorn? It's really about being resilient and competitive and unselfish among your team. So, as we think about positive means winning, what is your private voice, that voice in your head saying, versus your public voice? The voice that your teammates, the voice that your customers hear. We have to win the conversation in our head. So sometimes we have to ask ourselves some questions. What did I do well and why? What can I do better and why? Sometimes it's really hard to be aware of that story we're unknowingly telling others. Through your body language, through your attitude, or it really could be the words coming out of your mouth. What did I do well and why is an opportunity to share with others to create team learning. As we think about driving to win, it's really important to think about what is your failure recovery system, your FSR. So next time you run into a little hurdle, a little hiccup, a slight challenge, don't beat yourself up. Don't let that voice inside your head keep you down. Think about, how do I recover? What did I do well and why? Think about being resilient, a bouncy ball. How do I continue my competitive spirit in myself? And how can I become that unselfish teammate? Remember, it's about focusing more on the process and less on the results of staying positive. You have a purpose. You have a purpose on the team you're on to be a positive leader. If you're interested more in this topic, feel free to check out the book with our Kernel Knowledge series on Drive to Win. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to myself or your Bear Crop Science representative. Make it a great day and put a smile on your face.